New housing data out today, delivering kind of a gut punch for would-be homebuyers, hoping more inventory on the market could lower prices. Housing starts in May fell 5.5% from April, coming in significantly lower than the 0.7% that analysts were expecting. And building permits last month dropped 3.8% month over month, much worse than the anticipated 0.7% increase. As inventory remains paltry, mortgage rates are still kind of inflated here. I mean, according to Freddie Mac, the average 30-year fixed mortgage interest rate came in at 6.87% today. While that is 8 basis points lower than last week, how is the housing sector going to survive this strange phenomenon? Joining us now in a Fox Business exclusive, Century 21 CEO Mike Miedler. Mike, little to no inventory and paired with recent historical high mortgage rates. How do you get over that or through it?
Liz, it is a challenge for home buyers out there. It has been for the last 4 years. We are starting to see, in my mind, kind of a loosening and a shifting of the market to market, right, depending on where you're going to be. We're now 2 years into this large run-up in interest rates, mortgage rates, which you guys talked about. But again, 7.5% is not abnormal for this country. It runs around the 50-year average. And so I do think with the housing starts and completion numbers that you saw, down, I think, 1% from last month, we're still expecting them to put 1.5 million new units out, which is a good thing.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, inventory is starting to creep up, right? I mean, we've had a 38% gain in inventory year over year across the country. Now, that's driven mainly in a lot of markets like the Florida, Texas, California, Arizonas, where you are seeing a lot of new builds as well. But that's a good thing for us.
Well, Century 21 has something like 14,000 agents running around this country. What are they telling you about the mindset of not just the would-be buyers, but the would-be sellers?
Yeah, we have over 50,000 agents here in the country, but 135,000 worldwide. But here's what they say, Liz. They basically say that we're at a point where the market is starting to become more normalized, right? You are seeing price cuts across the country happening right now, where, you know, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, that didn't exist. But I think that creep up in inventory, along with where rates are, right? We're one of the most price-sensitive markets with mortgage rates, and that's really affected us over the last 2 years. But, I mean, they're basically seeing a market coming back to normal.
Yeah, but not normal when it comes to the median price of a home in the United States. St. Louis Fed just came out, Federal Reserve Bank, and the median sales price of houses sold in the U.S. hitting $420,800. Now, you compare that to 5 years ago, $313,000.
Yes.
What factors could bring this down?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've seen literally about 150 out of 155 straight months in a row of year-over-year price increases.
You've been counting, I know,
yeah,
because a couple of years ago, we were at 126 months in a row.
And it's crazy, right? And so, you know, that has to, I think, at some point slow down.
Yeah, but how? That's what I'm asking.
More inventory. More inventory, and that's the only solve. And, you know, I say this all the time, depending on who you listen to, whether it's NAR or Fannie or Freddie, we're about 3.5 to 5 million units short in this country of what we need for the household formations that have happened. We've had the slowest decade of building that we've ever had, and honestly, that gets done at the local level. It gets done maybe in changing some of the commercial real estate that we have into housing. As you know, multifamily still continues to remain a hot commodity here across the U.S., and we just need to put more houses in the ground.
Well, there are houses that aren't at 400,000. In fact, a new study is out by Realtor.com, and they put in homes, cities with the homes that cost $200,000 or less. With the most homes, you got two in Florida, Lauderdale Lakes, Lauderhill, and then you got a couple in Ohio, Akron and Cleveland. They're both in northern Ohio. I've lived in Cleveland. I absolutely adored it. Go Browns! Rochester and Niagara Falls in New York, Albany, Georgia, Lansing, Michigan, Rockford, Illinois.
I'm laughing because I'm a Steeler fan, but that said...
Well, I'm sorry for you. I feel terrible for you.
You're absolutely right. I mean, you're looking at Texas and Florida are two states with the most amount of building. And so when you see that type of building in, like, the suburbs of Fort Lauderdale, people are moving there and homes are more affordable, right? Midwest cities that you just named. There are jobs in these cities. There's great living in these cities. There's good schools in these cities. And there's affordable housing. And so it's going to drive the market.
And let's just remember, and And I've noticed this, and I want our viewers to know it too, especially people who don't live in the Midwestern region. They used to call it the Rust Belt. You don't hear that term anymore. They call it the manufacturing belt, and that would include Akron, Cleveland, Detroit, Lansing.
All the cities you named and the Illinois of the world, right? There's also a couple in upstate New York right here on the lake. And so, you know, there are affordable homes and there are great communities around it. It's just a matter of finding a great professional that can help you serve you in that local market.
Okay. It's good to see you, Mike. Thank you very much.
Likewise, Liz. Always a pleasure.